You feel proud about being Canadian?
Not really, not right at the moment anyway.
Are you proud to be Canadian?
You know, I'm not proud to be a Canadian.
There's a poll saying people are feeling less proud about being Canadian, and
we have a problem here, and we seem to have forgotten.
Very proud to be Canadian. I'm not so much anymore, especially over the last 3 years.
My country, government, has treated me like crap ever since.
So the high cost of living is just one reason more Canadians are choosing to live abroad.
Are you proud to be Canadian? And then
I was.
Canada is a fantastic country, but it is not the same as what it was 10 years ago.
My entire life, I never thought I would be saying that I'm ashamed to be a Canadian.
Welcome to Canadian Rant, where we speak the truth everyone else is afraid to say. Today, we're asking a question many Canadians never thought they'd have to confront. Why are Canadians no longer proud of their own country? This isn't about disrespect. This isn't about politics. This is about reality. Across the nation, people are saying the same thing. Canada doesn't feel like Canada anymore. Elliot said it best. Canadian pride is disappearing. Why? Because crime is up, communities feel less safe, and trust in the system is cracking. Because unity is down, and every year the country feels more divided, East versus West, young versus old, taxpayers versus government. And when we went to Saskatoon to ask everyday Canadians how they feel, most didn't talk about flags or symbols. They talked about the cost of living, how pride feels impossible when you're choosing between rent and groceries, how it's hard to feel patriotic when you're drowning financially in one of the richest countries in the world. So let's dig deep. Let's talk about why Canadians are losing pride, and whether this country can still be saved.
10 years of corruption, unethical behavior, 10 years of outright lies, 10 years of trying to crush the energy industry in Canada, in Western Canada. In Eastern Canada, you elected the Liberals again. I'm dumbfounded. I'm blown away. I'm blown away at your stupidity. But hey, Mr. Trump, you got your guy. You got your guy. You got the one you wanted. Now all of us in Western Canada are going to stand and applaud while you crush him. Crush him. Crush this country so we can start over. Please. Roll the tanks across the border. We'll be at the border and we'll give you a beer and welcome you across. It's over.
Anybody else wake up a very disappointed Canadian today? Like, very disappointed? What's wrong with you liberal lovers? Seriously, do you not know what has happened to our country and what's about to happen? I am terrified for everyone's children.
We've talked about this. We benefit from the left the most because of their monetary and fiscal policies. But at the end of the day, I don't like the direction that the country that I love is headed in. I don't like it. I used to be very proud to be Canadian. I'm not so much anymore, especially over the last 3 years. That's kind of gone by the wayside for me. But I still have this yearning to see the country recover, I guess, from this just brutal political, like, I don't even know, like, sinkhole it's in.
are you proud to be Canadian?
No.
No.
I'm not proud.
You're not proud to be Canadian?
I'm not proud to be Canadian.
What's the reason, Elliot?
You know, we're a nation that stands for nothing. We have this self-righteousness that masquerades as virtue. But yet, we have this kind of nose up in the air, pompous arrogance. We keep saying all the time, we're not America. We're better than them. That's what we keep shouting. That's our only differentiating factor, by the way. But are we? All I see around me, to be honest, is mediocrity that's being exuded. The second you dare point out that another country is doing better than Canada, you're told to shut the fuck up and just appreciate the fact that you have what you have. We used to be pioneers, explorers, adventurers, risk takers. We used to strive, truly strive for more. But all we have left now is suicidal empathy. Nah, I'm not proud to be Canadian anymore, man. Used to be. When I grew up and I watched Team Canada play Junior Team Canada or Olympics Team Canada, when I saw neighbors helping one another, families smiling in the park, We've gone from a high trust society where you could leave your front door unlocked to a low trust society.
I was born and raised in a small town just north of Toronto. I've been working since I was 16 years old, and now I'm in my mid-40s, which means I've been paying into taxes for that length of time. I worked for one particular organization for 20 years, and when I was let go due to corporate restructuring, the government provided me with 6 weeks of employment insurance. 6 weeks. I've been looking for a job for nearly a year, and we've been talking about how hard it is to find jobs in the service industry, but it's not just the service industry. It's everywhere. I'm a learning consultant, and if I didn't have children, I would run to another country and come back to Canada as a refugee with a different name so that I could get these benefits that everybody else is getting as newcomers. We have a problem here, and we seem to have forgotten that the government doesn't have money. It is not government funded. It is taxpayer funded. It is our money that we've been paying for years and years and years, and it's being given away to everybody but Canadians.
Are you proud to be Canadian? And then
I was.
Yeah. So like, what happened? You think?
Yeah.
What do you think happened, bro?
It's not Canada anymore. Look around.
Yeah.
Look around. It's just not. I'm all for immigration. My mom wasn't born here. I'm sure your parents weren't born here, or someone's
What's your
grandparents. Irish.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. My child's half Korean. His mother was born in Korea. Like, I'm definitely not like everyone should be born here and that's how it is. But if you're going to come here like how people used to come here and want to become Canadian. What's happening here is everyone is coming here so quickly that they can't even adapt, that they do what they know, and then they start imposing how they live where they're from. With that being said, you guys left for a reason. I'm not saying your country's bad, but you came to a country for opportunity. So come here, and the country needs to be respected. And I feel the people that were here, they're leaving. Like, they don't want to be here anymore.
Canada is a fantastic country, but it is not the same as what it was 10 years ago. There was a time when wearing your Canadian flag was something to be proud of, but I feel like that time has passed. We used to be a high-trust society that was incredibly focused on freedom, where you could leave your doors unlocked overnight and trust your neighbors. But somewhere along the way, that all changed. Because now we live in a country where the police tell you to leave your keys at the front door in case somebody wants to break in and steal your car. Honestly, I think it's just because our government and our country started focusing on the wrong things. They started creating hyphenated Canadians and putting people into camps and dividing us on the most nonsensical crap. And while doing this, they undermined the entirety of the Canadian identity while importing millions of people to this country who were told you don't have to fit in. I'm not a complete pessimist. I think we can actually get back to basics and fix a lot of these issues. But we can only get there if we stop focusing on things that make us different from one another and start focusing on what makes us the same. Because at the end of the day, what matters is people being able to have one unified identity, being able to afford a comfortable, happy life in a country that's safe and clean.
Just need to vent a little bit. I feel like ever since somebody left garbage on top of the stairs and I fell down from it, life has been kind of hard. And my country, government, has treated me like crap ever since. It's frustrating dealing with all the crap that the government makes you go through when you're in a bad state of life to begin with. Like, I just don't understand. I'm Canadian. I'm a born Canadian. Why is my government and country treating me like crap? I broke my back and none of it was my fault. But they sure make you feel like you purposely did it. And that you're just a lazy person who refuses to go to work. I'm so sick of this. I deal with it with my son Mitch because he has Downs, and now I deal with it because I am permanently disabled. This country needs to change. We need a better government. We need a better country. We need to go back to the proud Canada we used to have. It's so frustrating.
So the high cost of living is just one reason more Canadians are choosing to live abroad. There's a spike in the number of people making a move. CTV's Kamal Karmali tells us which countries have the biggest Canadian expat populations and what challenges they face when they move.
More and more Canadians are waving goodbye to their homeland.
For the size of our population, there's a huge amount of Canadians kind of no matter where I go.
And moving abroad, uprooting for reasons including housing and healthcare.
I've been priced out of my own country. And on top of that, the waits for services, for example, especially medical services, is really, really pathetic.
The latest data estimates around 4 million Canadians live abroad, roughly 11% of the country's population. That number a huge increase, a 36% jump from the number of Canadians who lived elsewhere in 1990. More than 1 million Canadians, that's over 1/3, live in the U.S., with 300,000 in Hong Kong and more than 70,000 in the United Kingdom.
It's much more difficult to climb up in Canada than it is in the United States.
Greg Luz moved to California and hasn't looked back. Do you feel forgotten?
Yeah. And I wasn't really worried about it. It didn't affect me in any way. But again, there's no two-way connection.
The report from McGill Institute for the Study of Canada says Canadians abroad have received little attention, from consular services to healthcare, taxation, and community building. The diaspora has been largely left to its own devices.
Canadian posts overseas need to upgrade their services. They need to put more staff in there.
But others argue the onus is on the individual.
You would almost expect that expatriates should have some responsibility. They should be able to check the Ontario website for healthcare coverage, for example.
Speaker, in 2015, the New York Times reported that Canada had the richest middle class in the world. Just a decade later, our country is in an economic tailspin. Do you know what happened in 2015, Mr. Speaker? This Liberal government took power, and many of their current ministers, including the finance minister, were elected. And here's where we are today. During an epic housing crisis, 99% of CMHC executives got bonuses, averaging $43,000. How is that okay? How is it that Canada, under their watch, went from the richest middle class in the world to a country where many middle-class Canadians can't afford housing?
This is Tim, and I'm 67 years old, and in my entire life I never thought I would be saying that I'm ashamed to be a Canadian. I don't know what the fuck is going on with people. Used to be when Americans would sew a Canadian flag on their backpacks or on their luggage so people wouldn't hate them. Now, with what Trudeau did, and now we got some asshole coming out of exactly nowhere who's going to run the country. What the fuck? And we had people booing at hockey games. What? That's not us. That's not the way I was raised. It was respect. You may not like somebody, but now when it comes to hockey, you don't do shit like that. This country's gone to hell in a handbasket. And yeah, I took down my little icons, my Canadian flag icons with my name. I took them off. I don't want to be part of that. I know I am because I live here and all that shit, but this country and what Trudeau pulled is just no elections, nothing. And where the hell did this guy come from? Right out of the blue. I don't know anything about him. But he's going to take over for us internationally and everything. Anyway, I just thought I'd vent for a bit because I'm just... the only solace I have is that at my age, 67, I don't have very many years left. So I won't have to whine and bitch and complain for too much longer. Have a good day. Bye for now.
You know, I'm not proud to be a Canadian. No. I was just waiting outside of the bank, and where the bank is like, you can see where the food bank is. So I was like watching because honestly, it's fucking sad, but I know how it feels because last year, I believe, I had to use the food bank. And so I was watching this one man, and you could clearly tell that this man was homeless. And he got his bags. He had like 2 grocery bags or something like that, and he was walking up by the bank. And I could see him like rummaging through the bags, and I was just like, I'm a people watcher. That's what I do. And honestly, I felt fucking bad. Anyways, I went into the bank, and when I came out of the bank, I saw a bag left on the side of the building where he was. You could visibly see what was inside of the bag. And not only that, he put some stuff outside of the bag. In this bag from the food bank was a ton of rotten vegetables and rotten fucking fruits from the food bank. Like, there is probably nothing healthy that he was able to salvage. Now listen, I understand that the people at the food banks are probably doing what they, and I appreciate that, okay? But when I had to go last year, the same thing happened to me, okay? If there was so many rotten vegetables, so many rotten fruits, cans of food that were outdated, just... And here Trudeau is giving away all of our fucking money. And we have people who are on the fucking streets. I know that this is not even 1% of the fucking problem. There's so many problems right now in Canada with homelessness and whatever. But like, me witnessing that for real, knowing that this is still going on, like, I just feel like we can do better, man. I just feel like we can do fucking better. Anyways, I don't know.
There's a poll saying people are feeling less proud about being Canadian, and just wondering how you feel about.
Absolutely not. No? I love being a Canadian.
Whole economy and everything, and like I have a family of 3 kids, and I can't imagine how anybody, like I make good money, so I can't imagine how somebody who doesn't make good money. Because even just like researching just a couple of days ago, I heard like, like the US, look at their GDP versus ours and stuff. Like right now, everything, like we're in such a slump, I guess you want to call it. It's crazy.
We just moved out on our own, and it's hard experiencing like how expensive everything is and like rent. So like, yeah, a little bit, because like this used to be like good country to live, and now it's like kind of pricey to live here.
I love being a Canadian, especially when you're traveling. Everybody has so much more respect for you. I mean, we have so much more respect for others too. So yeah, it's wonderful. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Why do you think people are feeling less proud about being Canadian?
Just the politics. That's about it. I mean, you vote for whoever you vote for, you know. But to blame somebody else for who they are voting for, it's not a Canadian way.
Do you feel proud about being Canadian?
Not really, not right at the moment anyways. Like, it just seems it's tough. It's tough to get by. Everything's just harder to do these days. And I don't really know what it is. Everything just seems kind of sad around here lately. Like, it's just hard to see the light, you know. Like, you sometimes in hardship you can look forward and say, oh, things are going to change around here, but we're kind of stuck, and it's been like that for a long time now.
And you just wanted to ask people how they feel about being Canadian.
Great. I was born here. Love it. Yeah. Love it.
We're hearing a lot about Trump saying, joking or real or not, we don't know, about wants Canada to become a 51st state. How do you feel about that idea?
I don't know.
I won't even travel into the States for the next 4 years. I just won't. But people still be coming here. I'm sure of it. No, he's just mouthing. Maybe the States will accept it, but we never will.
Trudeau was cited as like one of the reasons people are feeling less proud about their country. For some people, how do you feel about an upcoming federal election?
Good. I think we need it. I am not too fond of the Liberals themselves and what's been going on, especially in the western provinces, right? So, but we'll see.
How do you feel with Trudeau resigning as Liberal leader, saying he will, and a new election probably this year? How do you feel about a federal election coming up?
I'm worried. I'm now worried, yeah.
Why is that?
Conservatives.
It's probably needed. I mean, it'd be nice to see what the voice of Canada and see what everyone else likes to think. Like, we might have different opinions over here in the West as they do in the East, but I think everyone's ready for a change.
anybody else wake up a very...
You've just heard voices from across Canada, real people, honest opinions, unfiltered truth. And the message is loud and clear. Canadians aren't losing pride because they stopped caring. They're losing pride because they don't feel cared for. Think about that. For generations, Canada was known as the land of hope, opportunity, safety, and fairness. People came here because it represented something solid, something dependable, something proud. But now, people are struggling to feed their families. Young Canadians believe they'll never afford a home. Workers are paying some of the highest taxes in the world and getting less back every year. Crime is surging in cities that were once the safest on earth. A country built on unity feels divided more than ever. So how can we expect people to feel proud when they feel ignored, betrayed, and pushed to the edge? But here's the part that matters, really matters. Canadian pride isn't dead. It's being suffocated, and it can come back. Pride comes from a country that listens to its people. Pride comes from a government that serves, not controls. Pride comes from communities that stand together, not fall apart. Pride comes from leadership that understands that affordability, safety, and opportunity are not luxuries. They are rights. We can rebuild that pride. We can rebuild that unity. We can rebuild this country. But only if we refuse to stay silent. Only if we keep telling the truth. Only if we demand better. So if you believe Canada can still be a place worth being proud of, a place where people live, not just survive, then help us amplify this message. Like this video, share this video, and subscribe to Canadian Rant to keep this conversation alive. This isn't just content. This is a movement to rebuild the country we love. A movement to remind those in power that Canada belongs to its people, not its politicians. The pride is slipping, but together we can bring it back. See you in the next video. Stay strong, Canada.